Hi, in this video, I'm going to demonstrate the packet tracer activity where we try to configure both IPv4 and IPv6 static as well as default routes. For this, please download the PT activity of 15.6.1 of module 15. So let's see what this packet tracer activity is going to hold for us. So this is the topology that we have for this particular activity. So you can see that there is an addressing table given. We have three routers. One is the edge router, and the other two routers are the ISP1 and ISP2 routers. We have two PCs, one customer server, and one switch. Okay. So the objectives for this particular PT activity are configure IPv4 static and floating static default routes, configure IPv6 static and floating static default routes, configure IPv4 static and floating static routes to internal LANs, similarly for IPv6, and then finally configure IPv4 and IPv6 host routes. So as usual, let me start with the step-by-step procedure that we follow for every PT activity. Let me go to part 1, instructions. Configure the IPv4 static and floating static default routes. Okay. So step 1, configure an IPv4 static default route. On edge router, configure a directly connected IPv4 default static route. This primary default route should be through ISP1. Okay. In that case, it is asking me for a directly connected route. Okay. In step 1. So let me do that. And edge router, let me click on the edge router. Okay, so let me go down and enable configure terminal. So it is asking me configure a directly connected IPv4 default static route. Okay, the primary default route should be through the ISP1. Now if it is ISP1, generally what we do is we have to find, let me show you. So this is actually connected to ISP's SE 0x0x0 interface. So to find out what is the IP address of this interface, I need to go to the ISP1. S0x0's interface is 10.10.10.1. So I need to mention that in my route. So let me open it. Now for that, what I need to do is, here we are, IP route. Okay, IP route to configure directly connect IPv4 default static route. The one should be through ISP1. So if you remember correctly, for all default routes, we use 0.0.0.0 as for your IP address, as well as 0.0.0 as your subnet mask as well. This is also called as quad route. I'm saying that if the router receives a packet which does not match any one of its routing table entries, I am asking it to forward it to this particular interface address. So 10.10.10.1, enter. Okay. So I created a default route with this. Now this is the primary default route. It is actually, that is step 1. On step 2, it is asking me configure a directly connected IPv4 floating static default route. This default route should be through router ISP2. So in case if this particular route fails, so for in that case, what I'm going to do is I'm going to specify this particular interface of ISP2 as my floating point route. So I need to find out what is this interface. It is S0x0x1. So let me go to the addressing table again. SE0x for ISP2. S0x0x1 is nothing but 10.10.10.5. So this is my IP address which I need to specify for my floating point route. So how do I do that? Go back here. It's pretty simple. Rather than typing everything, I'm using the up arrow so that it can save some time for me. So 10.10.1 is the interface of ISP1. Now because I'm going to specify a floating point one, I'm going to specify as 10.10.5, and it is also given to me that, let me click this on top so that it doesn't move away. And it is also, just minimize this a little bit. No. Okay, here you can see that the administrative distance of 5. It is clearly mentioned that I should give the administrative distance of 5. So let me put it as 5 here. Enter. So that is also done. So step 1 done. Step 2 done. Part 1 is completed. So I configured an IPv4 static and floating static default routes on edge router. So for the primary route is through ISP1. The secondary route is through ISP2. So how do I know it is a secondary route? Because I am mentioning an administrative distance of 5 here. So as long as the primary is working, the secondary will not kick in. If there is an issue with primary, only then the secondary route will be added into the routing table. So let me go on to part 2. So it's saying configure IPv6 static and floating static default routes. It's the same thing, but rather than giving an IPv4 address, I need to give an IPv6 address. So next hop, it is asking me configure a next hop static default route. This primary default route should be through ISP1. So once again, I need to go back on to the top. So for IPv6 default route, I need to mention IPv6 route /0. So this is how I mention a default route in IPv6. All zeros. Okay. So all zeros. Let me go to the top and let me check out the ISP1's S0/0/0s. This is the address. Please make sure that you type without any mistake, because it's a very common thing that usually we make typing mistakes here. DB8. Please make sure that you don't do it here. Where is this? This is what. Let me select this at least so that I can see clearly. DB8 : A: 1 :1. So this is how you need to specify on this. So let me click enter. So let me move on to the next one. The next step should be here we are, configure an IPv6 floating static default route with an administrative distance of 5. This route should be ISP2. So similarly for ISP2, what is the IPv6 interface address of S0/0/1? This is this. So I'm going to specify that as well. So rather than typing everything again, I'm using this so that it makes my job much more easier. So if you see here, the address is 2 here. So I need to change that. Okay. So 2 and then move on, and I need to give the administrative distance of 5 because this is a floating static route. You can see. So part 2 step 2 is also done. Part 2 step 2 is done. I did this. Now let me move on to part 3. So in part 3, it is asking me configure IPv4 static and floating static routes to the internal LANs. Okay, let me move on to the step 1. Configure IPv4 static routes to the internal LANs. On ISP1, configure a next hop IPv4 static route to LAN 1 network through edge router. Okay, and similarly next hop to LAN 2 through edge router. So I need to create two static routes on ISP1 for LAN 1 and LAN 2 traffic. So where is ISP1? This is my ISP1 router here. Let me click on that. Just expand it a little bit so that it will be clear to see. So this is LAN 1. This is LAN 2. Let me show you. So the LAN 1's network address is 192.168.10.16 and the LAN 2's address is 192.168.11.32. So these are the two networks that I need to set a static route through. And if you can see here, it is actually asking me next hop IPv4. For ISP1, the next hop for these LAN 1 and LAN 2 will be the address of S0/0/0's interface. So what is the address of 0/0/0's interface? Let me go on to of edge router. Let me show you. The edge routers S0/0/0's interface IPv4 address is this. So for both these local area networks, my static route will specify that if a packet is destined for either LAN 1 or LAN 2, the next hop's IP address that I should be using is 10.10.2. So let me type in those commands here. I'll show you how to type them in. Okay. So enable configure terminal. So let me show you step by step where we are. We are in part 3, right? So it is asking me IP. Let me just move this to the bottom. Sorry. Let me move this to the bottom a little bit. Let me show that. Okay. The LAN address is this. So IP route 192.168.10.16, which is the network address. And please remember that the subnet mask mentioned here is 28. So I need to specify that here. So 255.255.255.240, because it is 28. the subnet mask will be 240 here, net mask. And what is the IP address of my exit interface? It is the IP address of S0/0's interface of edge router, which is nothing but 10.10.10.2. I just shown you this in the addressing table. So this is what I need to do. Enter. So I just set it up. I just set this up. So let me show you. And after that, the next thing it is asking me is same thing I need to do for LAN 2 also. The LAN 2's network is this 192.168.11.32. Let me go there. Let me use the up arrow. Here I need to change the address 11.32, which is the IPv4 address of LAN 2. And here once again you can see the subnet mask is changed. It's 27 here, so I need to change it. For /27, the subnet mask will be 224, not 240. 224, and the IPv4 address of the existing interface remains the same. There is no change at all. So enter. So I completed this. I completed this here. I configured on ISP1, configure an XHOP IPv4 static route to LAN 1 and LAN 2. Hopefully I did not make any typing mistakes. Okay, done. Now let me move on to step 2. On step 2, configure IPv4 floating static routes to the internal LANs. Now it is asking me to do the same thing again, but rather than using the interface of the edge router, it is asking me through the ISP2 router and a an administrative distance of 5. So for ISP2 router, you can see here, it did ask me a directly connected floating static route here. So use an administrative distance to the ISP router. So for ISP router, the exit interface is always this, right? So what is the exit interface that the ISP1 router should use? It is Z0/0. So let me type the same thing here. Here, what I need to do is use the same command. So this is for the first plant. So rather than specifying this as 10.10.10.2, what I can do is I can use the exit interface as Z0/0. But don't forget that because this is a floating static route, I need to use the administrative distance as 5. Rather than if this fails, earlier one, if it fails, the secondary route or the backup one will use the exit interface of Z0/0, so that they will go towards ISP2. So enter. This is one. And similarly for the second line also, let me do the same. Rather than giving 10.10.2, I will give the same exit interface Z0/0 with an administrative distance of 5. So I am creating 2 floating static routes on ISP1 such that if the primary one fails, the secondary one will be using this particular thing. So to mention this is a secondary one or a backup one, I am mentioning the administrative distance of 5, because for always for the static route, the administrative distance will be 1. So that way the primary will always be there. Only if the primary goes down or if something happens, only then this route will be taking up into action. So I think we have done until this. Part 3 is completed. Let me come to part 4. So on part 4, in part 4, what we can do is configure IPv6 static and floating static routes. Okay, I think the same thing, but rather than using an IPv4 address, we have to use this IPv6 addresses, which is given down here. You can actually come down here also, you can see. Okay, let me go to this part 4. So same thing, rather than using an IP route, I have to use IPv6 route. Okay, and what is the LAN 1's address? IPv6 address 2001:DB8:1:10:/64. Okay, /64 space. Now I have to understand that the first thing is I have to get the IPv6 address of S0/0's interface of edge router. For that, I need to go back to the addressing table again. You can actually copy from this addressing table and paste it here as well if you want to. That is also an easy thing to do. So let me type it in here. 2001:DB8:1:2. That's it. This is done. Similarly, I need to do the for the LAN 2 also, because I anyhow entered this. This is a simple change here. The only change that I need to make here is 11.64, because LAN 2's IPv6 address, as this is the only difference. I can use the same command. There's no big deal here. I can use the same command as well. So this is for LAN 2. Enter. So this is also done. In part 4, I did the step 1 also. Let me go to step 2. It is asking me on ISP1, configure a next hop IPv6 floating static route to LAN 1 through the ISP2 router. Use an administrative distance of 5. Okay, for that case, what I need to do is I need to get the IPv6 address of this interface. So what is this interface? ISP2 Z0 by 0. I can go here. ISP2 Z0 by 0. ISP2 Z0 by 0's interface is this 2001 DB8 FF ::2. So let me type that here on ISP1, because earlier also we did the same thing. See, if this fails, I created that this is the exit interface. This is the interface through which I need to send it to. The next hop interface is Z0 by 0. Okay. In the earlier step also, this thing I mentioned this interface of ISP2. Similarly, let me type in the same thing. I'll use the up arrow. So here, rather than using this address, I'm going to change this address to DB8 F :F :: and please do not forget that this is a floating static route and I have to give the administrative distance as 5. Now this is done. For LAN 2 also, let me repeat the same command here. Rather than this, I can do this. I can go here, remove this, put 11. This is done. So what did I do? So I did what I did on ISP1 is pretty simple. First, I specified to reach LAN 1 and LAN 2, the first static route or the primary static route should use the IP address of this interface of edge router. If this fails, I'm saying that if this route is no longer available, then you have to use the interface of ISP2, which is Z0 by 0. So in one, I gave the Z0 by 0's interface of ISPv2, or I even specified the exit interface here, and I am actually specifying the Z0 by 0's interface address in IPv6. So that is what I did in ISP router. So let me go around here to see what's happening. So let me see what's happening. Part 4 is done. Step 1 is done. Step 2 is done. Part 5, configure host routes. So you know what is a host route. If a network administrator wants to assign a route to a particular destination, so an edge router configure an IPv4 route directly connected host route to the customer server. Okay. And on edge router, configure an IPv4 directly connected floating host route to the customer server using an administrative distance of 5. So edge router, if you see, if it wants to go to customer server, there are only 2 routes here. One either use S0 by 0 by 0, or the other one will use S0 by 0 by 1. So what we will do is, one will set it up as primary and the other one will become the secondary. So let me select S0 by 0 as the primary one. So what I need to do is, I need to type it in here on edge router system. So enable configure terminal. So here I'm going to set up a default static route to the, or default host route. Sorry, I'm going to specify a host route, static host route. So the customer server's IP address is 198.0.0.10. So IP route 198.0.0.10. Here I need to mention a subnet mask of 255.255.255.255. This is simply because each and every one of the 32 bits must match. So this is my destination IP address. This is the mask, and enter. So what is the exit interface that I need to use for this as a primary? Yes, 0 by 0 by 0. So this is my primary interface, or the primary route to the other host route, directly connect the host route. Enter. Now, if this fails, what I need to do is I need to specify a secondary path. For that, I can use, there is another interface on edge router. This is the one. You can see this is another one. If you want to check, you can go to the addressing table also. The other interface is 0 by 0 by 1. So I need to specify that. But once again, when I do that, whenever I specify a floating static route, I need to give an administrative distance of 5. So S0 by 0 by 1 space 5. Enter. So this is how I set it up on edge router for IPv4. Similarly, I need to do the same thing for IPv6 also. So the IPv6 customer server number is IPv6 route 2001 colon DB8 colon F colon double colon 10 space. So if you remember how many bits needs to match, each and every one of the bits should match. So the prefix length should be 128. If I don't give 128, it means that not all the bits would match. But because I'm specifying a host route, the IP address of the host, whether it might be IPv6 or IPv4, all the bits must match. That is the reason I'm specifying the prefix length as 128 here. So, and now what is the IPv4 or IPv6 address that I need to write down? Let me go back here once again. 0 by zeros. Where is this? We are doing. Give me a sec. Here it has asked me for IPv6 customer server through the ISP1 router. So what do you mean by the through ISP1 router? You can see here it's showing as ISP1 router. That means I need to use the IPv6 address of this S0 by 0 interface of ISP1. What is the S0 by 0 interface address of ISP1? This 1.1.1. Okay, so let me do that. Here's this. I need to type in properly without making any mistakes. 2001 colon DB8 colon DB8 colon A colon 1 double colon 1. Okay, so this is what I need to specify. This is my primary route. Okay, enter. Now for me to, there is another one. It is asking me to create a floating host route also, but it should go through ISP2 router, but I'm using an administrative distance of 5. So in that case, what I need to do is I need to mention this interface's IPv6 address. What is this interface? S0 by 0 by 1 of ISP2. You can see it here. What is the IPv6 address? This 2. Okay, I can use the same thing here. If I want to go here, A rather than A colon 1, I can use 2 here, and need to mention the administrative distance of A colon 2 and 5. There you go. I did everything. The completion is also 100%. So if you understand, this is all related to how do you understand setting up of the static routing. So as a network administrator, as I told you, both dynamic routing and static routing are equally important, because static routing gives you the element of security. So you can control the flow of packets through the network, through some particular destinations. It is very much useful to have the knowledge on static routing. So this is how you do it. Hopefully you understood this thing, and please do practice it once. It's very easy. It's quite easy as long as you understand what you are doing. Just you need to mention the steps, the next hop's IPv4 addresses and IPv6 addresses, and go through the addresses properly and make sure that you don't do any typing mistakes. If you enter those typing mistakes, you will not get 100% completion. Please be careful while you are typing the IPv6 addresses in particular, because one colon, double colon are there, and most of the students tend to make mistakes. So thank you very much for watching. Do take care.